Welcome students for online classes. So today we'll continue with the chapter 4, that is presentation of data under statistics. In the earlier session we had studied about the bar diagram which was under the geometrical diagram. So in this session we'll study about the pie diagram and the frequency diagram. So first under geometrical diagram we have completed bar diagram, but now we will study about the pie diagram. So what is pie? Pie diagram is a circle which is divided into several sections of segments by drawing angles at the center, each section indicating its own value. So as the name itself tells, it's a pie, it's a round in shape or it's a circle in shape. So the steps to be followed under the construction of this particular diagram is: first, calculate the size of each angle on the basis of the data given. So as the data given like this, so what first and foremost you need to check, you need to check each and every angle. So how will you check each and every angle? First, what is the degree of the circle? The degree of the circle is 360 degree. So based on this, you need to apply a formula, that is the individual value taken with divided by the total value into the degree of the circle, that is 360 degree. So first what you need to do under this value, you need to take the totals of the value given. So the totals of the value given will be 102, as I have taken an example value. So this will be 102. So after this, what are we supposed to do? We need to apply a formula. So okay, so in this particular solution, what are we supposed to do? First, what did we do? We have taken the total, that is 102, and later on we need to apply the formula. So what was the formula? The individual value divided by the totals into the degree, that is 360. So by doing this, what will we ascertain? We will ascertain the degree of the individual value based upon the degree of the circle. So what do we need? We cannot plot 102 in this particular circle. So because of this, what are we taking? We are taking 360 degree. So based upon the formula taken, that is the individual value divided by the totals into the degree of the value, degree of the circle, based upon this we apply it to everything in a sense, all the three values. So we are getting a particular value, 32 degree, 109 degree, 219 degrees. So based upon this, what are the next steps to be followed? Next step, draw a circle. Next, measure the area of the angle using the protractor. So the protractor is very much important to make the angles under the circle. So later on, each and every angle should be shaded by using the different colors. Why different colors? Just to differentiate it to from each angle to another. Okay, so we have taken the values, so we have got these values. So next, what was the step? We need to draw a circle. After drawing a circle, take a protractor and do the necessary things. Necessary things in the sense, first, what is the value? First, 32 degree, you can either take any of the degree, but first and foremost, what is very much important, you need to differentiate each from another. So what I have taken from the below, from the highest value, so 219 degree. So place the protractor. So when you place a protractor, you will get the particular value. So based upon the values, you can do the necessary needs. And the mainest thing under the pie diagram, that is, you need to differentiate each value from another. You can either draw something, maybe stars, maybe any kind of round or something. You can even shade it to the different shades. Maybe you can shade horizontally, you can shade vertically, everything can be done. So this is about the pie diagram. So the next thing, the next procedure or the next diagram under the diagrammatic representation was the frequency diagram. So now we have completed the geometrical diagram, that was the bar diagram and the pie diagram. Now we will study about the frequency diagram, where everything will be based upon the frequency. Okay, so what is frequency? The number of observation or number of the values which have occurred many times, that is known as frequency. So now based upon the frequencies, we are going to draw the diagram. Okay, so those diagram which are drawn with the help of frequency is known as frequency diagram. So let's know which are the types of frequency diagram. First is histogram, second one frequency polygon, third one frequency curve, and last one is ogive curve, or you can even call it as ogive curve, anything based upon your pronunciation. So these are the four types of frequency diagram. So the first one is histogram. So it is a graphical presentation of frequency distribution of a continuous series. So it is mentioned thoroughly that it is a continuous series, not the discrete series. So which are the continuous series? It is 0 to 10, 10 to 20. This is known as continuous series. This the frequency distribution which we need to do or put on with the help of diagram under the continuous series is known as histogram. So what is it done? It is presented in the form of rectangles on the graph paper against each class interval. So with the help of an example you might understand what histogram is. So first and foremost, the points to be noted under histogram. So what is it concerned with? It is concerned with the continuous series. Based upon the continuous series, the histogram is to be made. Next one, two variables will be presented, normally x-axis and the y-axis, where x-axis will be shown in the class interval and the y-axis will be shown of the frequency under the rectangular form. Last one, how is it to be drawn? It to be drawn from the left to right accordingly. Okay, so now based upon this particular example we are going to follow the histogram diagram. So now what is it given? Now the values under the continuous series is an exclusive method. So here there is no much procedure so that I can change the values just because the values are continuous. Now what happens when there is incontinuous values? So what are these values known as? These values are known as inclusive method. So what should be done at this particular point of time? You need to change it to the exclusive method just because we need the continuity between the upper limit of the first class and the lower limit of the second class. So because of this, what are we supposed to do? As we studied earlier, we will be adding 0.5 to the lower limit and deducting 0.5 to the upper limit. So it can be done like this. So I have done the necessary items which should be done. So after this, this is a small procedure which you need to do when the inclusive method is given. Okay, when inclusive method is given, you need to follow this kind of procedure. If the exclusive method is directly given, no need of changing anything from the procedure. You can directly put the values into the graph and you can directly do. So as I have taken the exclusive method to my diagram procedure, so no much procedure to be done. Okay, so these are the values. So based upon the frequency, so what is it? It is a frequency diagram. So based upon the frequency we are drawing a graph. Okay, so this is histogram. So under bar diagram, what used to happen? There was a equidistant between each values. Why there was equal distance between each bar graph? Just because it was under discrete series. But now what do we have? We have under the, what is it? It is in the continuous series. So based upon this we are writing the values on the x-axis, and based upon the values given under the frequency we will take down under the y-axis. So now what are we supposed to do? Based upon the value we are just drawing the bar graph which is equally there is no proper equal distance. In spite of that, it is connected to each other. This is known as histogram. Okay, so what is it? So first one is 50 to 55 and the value is 2. So we are taking 50 to 55 and the value, what is the frequency value? Value is 2. Accordingly you draw all the frequency distribution process so that we have a histogram procedure followed. So once we follow this histogram graph, we will get something. So what are we getting under histogram? A mode can be ascertained by joining the corners of the lengthiest histogram. So which is the lengthiest histogram? Which is the highest value in this? 10 is the highest value on the frequency. So based upon this is the lengthiest graph. So based upon this we can find out the mode. So now there are three main things under statistics, that is mean, median and mode. You might have studied earlier, even though I will repeat it. So what is mode? Mode is the value where the frequency appears many times. So the greatest frequency or the highest frequency is known as the mode. So what is it told? Based upon the lengthiest histogram, the mode can be ascertained. So this is based upon that. So how will you ascertain a mode? So this is the lengthiest frequency which I have got. So based upon this, from the earlier graph of from the earlier bar diagram, we are connecting it to the corners so that we get a mode. So the value here 74 is the modal group. Modal group in the sense this particular continuous series value has been occurred many times under the frequency. This is known as the modal value where the frequency has been occurred many times. Okay, so this is known as histogram. Now the next thing we will study is about the frequency polygon. So what is frequency polygon? The presentation of the frequencies in the form of rectangles joining the midpoints of the rectangles is known as the frequency polygon. So there is no much thing to be done under frequency polygon. Based upon the histogram, we are joining the midpoints of the rectangles. So so there are the steps to be followed. First thing, rectangles of histogram are drawn and the midpoints of the rectangles are being joined by a line. So based upon the step, I will be showing you the graph. Okay, so I have taken the same example as I had taken it to histogram. So what are we supposed to do? First we need to do a histogram. So the rectangles are being interconnected to each other. This is known as histogram. So what is it given? The midpoints of the rectangles are being joined by a line. So the next thing, what are you supposed to do? You need to find the midpoints of each and every angle. So if you have a graph sheet, it is very much easier for you to find the midpoints. So the midpoints can be ascertained with the help of the ruler, that is your scale where the centimeters will be given. So the midpoints where I have taken the values of 5. So based upon this, you can ascertain the mid value. So first, what are you supposed to do? You just put a dot or put a x to the midpoint for each and everything, so that it won't be a difficult thing for you. So first thing, you will be putting a dot or a x. Later on, what is it given? You need to join these lines. Only so much. You need to join the dots or the x's which you have put. So joining the lines will be from the x-axis. Starting from the x-axis, you will be joining all these particular lines so that we get a graph. Okay, so what is the next? Get the midpoints of the upper horizontal. We got the midpoints of the upper horizontal. Later on, what are you supposed to do? Join these midpoints of the adjacent rectangles of the histogram by the straight lines. Later on, last is it ends of the frequency polygon to be extended of the midpoints of the both the sides in the sense you need to extend the the lines of the frequency polygon to the x-axis. So this is known as the frequency polygon, where based upon the histogram you will be finding the mid values of each and every values, and you will be joining the mid values of each and every histogram so that we get a proper line. So this is known as frequency polygon graph. So the assignment part: on the basis of the data you have collected regarding participation of women in your locality in the below mentioned categories, construct a pie chart. So basically this is a project work, so that you need to collect the data. So now, as we are having no proper time to collect the data, so take any imaginary value and do the particular pie chart. Okay, so you can even take the values of 10, you can even take the values of 5, so that you get a pie chart. Take any imaginary value. Okay, second question: explain the method of constructing a frequency polygon with an example. The method of constructing in the sense the steps which you need to follow, explain them and take any example of the frequency polygon with the data. That is, you need to even take the exact, you have to take the values like this. So you have to take the values like this, any imaginary values for example, and later on you need to present a frequency polygon. And first and foremost, the important thing which I have forgot is about the values which you need to put. So what is under x-axis, what is under y-axis will be written here. So what kind of value you have taken for each centimeter, how many units have you taken, that is very much important, which you need to mention it. Okay, thank you students.